centering around that. Bayer's been hit with nearly 200,000 cases. They set aside $16 billion for these cases, but at this rate, it doesn't look like it's going to be happening.
It's not going to hold up very long. I mean,
no.
They're blowing through it. They're blowing through it.
Absolutely. And they have some massive problems because, so glyphosate obviously is just the one active ingredient, but the entire formulation has never been tested for cancer, for long-term safety effects. And these court cases are just keep coming. And as you talked about, we were in Washington, D.C. We had Zen Honeycutt, the head of Moms Across America. There's a slew of legislation now in the United States happening. It just started last year. And this is the headline here, because you see those court cases, these billion-dollar losses. Well, Bayer's effort to block Roundup lawsuits kicks into high gear. So they're modeling this after the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, zero liability for the manufacturers, codified in a bill. It says in here, last year, Bayer lobbied lawmakers in Idaho, Iowa, Missouri to push immunity bills, but the bills failed to pass. The company then ramped up its campaign heading into 2025. It created the Modern Ag Alliance to promote farmer support for the bills and began a cross-country ad blitz. Since the beginning of this year, lawmakers have introduced similar immunity bills in about a dozen states. Bills were defeated in Montana, Mississippi, and Wyoming, but they came back and are still pending in Idaho, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Missouri, Florida, Tennessee, Iowa. So this thing is gaining speed in a massive way.
It's really amazing, isn't it? You have a product that's causing cancer that's determined both by these court cases and the WHO ruling that we've talked about, IARC back in 2015. But just every time I think about this, the fact that Bayer Monsanto, this gigantic mega corporation, thinks that instead of making a better, safer product, let's go back to the drawing boards, that their best way forward is to use government to give them liability protection. If that doesn't the fact that anyone would even think that that could work in this country, I think shows you just how far off course we've gotten with our government. And you know, obviously, we're going to do everything we can. And by the way, everyone out there, you better fight like hell right now. We can never allow liability protection of a product like that. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's time for all those people, the March Against Monsanto people, to reactivate here if you really want to defeat this bill, if people really care about this bill. And we have former Florida Congress. When you read into these lawsuits, when they lose these lawsuits, there's always a statement by the company that says, we stand behind the science, we stand behind our products, they're safe, they're effective. Well, if they are, why the need for these bills?